Alright guys, welcome back. Today, we're doing a video that's been kind of a long time coming. I've been kind of putting it off a little bit because I've been busy. I haven't done any actual main gun reviews since I moved into the new house. Simply just because I moved in literally right after I got this rifle in from PSA. And then also, you know, hunting season's kicked off and I'm still unloading, packing, setting stuff up, so it's been a little busy, but we are finally getting to the review on the PSA AKV. This is a direct blowback 9mm carbine from PSA, and this particular model is called the shark fin because of this neat little I guess it's technically a dong that's been cut. I know, Dylan Mulvaney jokes incoming, but I particularly asked for this model simply because I really dig the Red Russian barn look with the cheese grater and that shark fin, and it actually does hold pretty nice, with the way that it holds like that. You could hold it like that if you want to, but it's pretty comfortable like that. Gives you a nice good pull back without being too long and obnoxious, so it is nice. So I particularly asked for this model. They wanted to send me a pistol at first. I'm like, well, with the brace stuff going on, I'm not going to really be able to do much with it in the pistol configuration. However, as the carbine, I can do a lot more with it. I can probably put a scope on this, and I can probably take a hog. I might actually try to do that. I'm doing a review for AccuFire. And I got a new sight. I might put the sight on this and see if I can shoot a hog or coyote with this, rifle right here. So, that's something to maybe look forward to. But anyways, it comes with one of these really, really nice 30-round mags. And it's called the U935 Soviet by Soviet Arms. These things are really tough. It's really, really sturdy plastic. I mean, it is sturdy, but you can see with that direct blowback how dirty that gets, and that's all that gas that blows back into it. So it comes with one mag, and you get the rifle. Actually, it's a really nice filling rifle, to be honest. It's light, it's balanced, it's not heavy or anything on. Of course, being direct blowback, it's simplified quite a bit. You're not having a gas piston in here. And you'll see that when we take it apart. You don't have gas port or anything like that. But it is a really nice fill-in rifle. And it does shoulder pretty well. I had noticed that this sight does shoot a little high. I need to raise this post a little bit to get to shoot down a little bit low. But it does shoot really nice. And something that's really cool about the AKV. Of course, semi-automatic, single shot. However, this rifle is super easy to bump fire. I mean, this trigger in this rifle is really, really nice. And even from a shoulder, if you hold it just right, not quite tight to your shoulder, you can actually bump fire this thing pretty reliably and get anywhere between, 3 to 5 round burst out of it. It's not too hard to do with a little bit of practice, to be honest. But of course, if you don't want to do that burst fire, you just hold it to your shoulder a little tighter to where it can't move around so much, and you can, sit there and pop off those single shots. It's actually something that my rep wasn't 100% aware of with the carbines. Now, the AKV, the pistols, are known for being bump fire handguns. They bump fire really easy in the pistol configuration, especially with the brace. But he wasn't aware that it happens easily with the carbine as well. And I actually discovered it by accident. I actually thought it was malfunctioning, and I got with him. But actually I found out that no, it is just the way that the trigger is and the way I was holding it for those particular times that you could bump fire this rifle from the shoulder pretty easily. And once I understood what was causing it and kind of what conditions it was pretty easy to replicate. Now, of course, you're not going to sit there and unload a full 30-round mag out of this thing, or, a 19-round mag from this thing, bump firing it, but it is possible to get a couple bursts off from the shoulder, and it is pretty fun. Of course, with it being 9mm, that also makes it kind of cheap to do that with. I mean, 9mm is not super expensive, but, you know, it is what it is. But anyways, the rifle, the build quality is really nice on it. Everything's nice and sturdy from the factory. I mean, AKs always have that little bit of jiggle there on the grips, you know, on the foregrip. But, you know, nothing too complicated. Everything's fit finish is really nice on this rifle. The top cover here, which is rail, this is 1 milled piece of aluminum, which is super nice. When I bring y'all in closer when we do the disassembly, I'll show you this. This is super nice. It does hold 0 and it doesn't move at all. So, you know, super nice rifle overall. I have to check on the website and see what these are running currently. But PSA did provide this rifle for me to do a review on and test and shoot. You know, check out. And to be honest, I really, really like this thing. Now, I am planning on seeing what I can do if I end up keeping this rifle. I might want to do something a little crazy with it. Because it is direct blowback, barrel doesn't have to be anything crazy. I've been contemplating kind of copying Brandon Herrera's Russian Tommy gun video, you know, the St. Petersburg typewriter, and getting this thing to mount up PPSH 41 drum mags and stick mags and convert this thing to 7.62 by 25. I suppose I could keep it 9mm. I might do that. But, you know, just, I thought it'd be cool, and looking at the way it's set up, it is pretty conceivable that it could be done pretty easily if I had a spare receiver to work with. So in the event that I decide to try to attempt that project, I might see if they'd be willing to send me a spare receiver, or maybe even just a stripped barreled action, and for me to customize. And the way I was thinking about doing it is finding another lower receiver unit from a PPSH 41, you know, just a scrap one, you know, trash ones that are rusty, and essentially chopping it up and making it fit, cut out the receiver and fit it up inside of here and weld it up inside of the receiver. That way I can kind of get the geometry right off the bat, and I don't have to do a whole lot of fitting and stuff. Just an idea. If they say, yeah, hey, let's make this thing happen, maybe I'll do it. Who knows? But anyways, I'm going to bring y'all in so we can start doing the disassembly on this, and we'll see. You'll get to see exactly how simple this rifle really is when it comes to how it's put together over an AK. Alright, so your disassembly on this is just like any other AK. First, check that you're clear. Alright. You're going to push in your button right here and lift up your top cover. Now, the only difference with this than most other AKs is that the top cover is connected to the rear sight mount here. So it does hinge straight up like this, so you don't have to actually take it off. And I do like this a lot. I wish a lot of AKs would start incorporating this in full-size AKs, because this is a really sturdy system. It allows for having a pretty much a railed dust cover here that is pretty much able to hold 0. Now, next we have just our normal recoil spring here, like any other AK. Now, they do have 2 separate buffers on here. So first of all, they have your typical AK rubber recoil buffer, and then they have this aluminum block buffer right here as well. And the reason for that is on the AKV, the way the geometry is and the way the bolt design, if it goes back too far, like say a normal AK would, it can catch up like that and jam on the hammer. So you don't really want to do that. So you say in there, that's all very typical AK. You know, you got your hammer, you know, your typical braided hammer spring. Everything inside of here is just AK. like normal. And the only thing that you don't see in here that's not AK is, well, there's no locking lugs in the trunnion. The trunnion's much shorter than on a regular AK. I think the receiver itself is actually slightly shortened. But there's no locking lugs because it doesn't lock, because it's just direct blowback. Now we can see on the bolt, we can really see the differences here. We just have a firing pin, one big heavy chunk of steel, and then no piston. This is just a weight to help kind of slow down the firing action of this gun. You could, in theory, lighten that up and this thing would reciprocate a lot faster. However, you could cause damage to the gun with the amount of force of that bolt slamming backwards with it being lighter. Direct blowback guns are much more harder to tune, to safely tune, than a lot of gas guns, piston guns. Anything with a locking lug or a locking bolt is a lot easier to tune for safety than a direct blowback gun. The direct blowback gun, the only thing that keeps this gun from exploding is the weight of this bolt and the force of that spring. But then again, you gotta have it tuned just right to where the weight of the bolt acting against spring is just enough delay to safely fire the cartridge without too much pressure, but also has to be light enough to where it will still completely cycle the gun. So there is some balancing act there. So PSA got that right for sure, and it works really well. Now once that's off, you can actually set this back down, open up our, what would normally be our gas tube, and you can see it's pretty much just a regular AK gas tube. You could probably, I'd have to check the length, but I mean, that's my ADM 65 here is a little, you could probably put that let's see, I'm just curious. Now, it's a little shorter. It's a little shorter than your typical AK by just a little. Now, could you, if you were building an AK from scratch, maybe use one of these? Sure. But that tube does look a little bit bigger. Maybe it's the same size. Yeah, I mean, you might be able to use one of these with a regular AK if you really wanted to. But then again, you know, regular cheese grater hand guards for pretty much regular size AKs are pretty common. So you wouldn't have to really resort to doing any kind of custom work with it. Put that back. I mean, as you can see, he's not in there. And then, of course, you know, our sight block really is just a sight block. Now, you could shoot the gun just like this. You could drop your bolt back in, everything like that. You do not need this on at all. The only reason this is on here is mainly just for looks and to make sure that you don't accidentally, you know, destroy your thumb. Because if you didn't have this on you and your thumb was up here and it was coming back into full battery, yeah, that could probably mess up your thumb pretty good, especially if you know, going. But you can see it's super basic, simple, and stripped down like this. It is really light, like super light. So part of me like really wishes that a lot of this pistol brace rule stuff that's going on could potentially end up with us having far more lax SBR laws. That would be awesome, because I think the AKV as a SBR would be awesome. Like if we could have the muzzle brake right here, this thing would be so fun. I mean, it's fun as a carbine, but just shortening it up that much would just be awesome. Now, when you do reassemble this, some AKs don't require you to have to push down the hammer to get the bolt, you know, to move forward in the battery. But On the AKV, you do have to push that hammer down so you can get the bolt forward into battery. That way you can put your recoil spring back in. Just make sure everything's lined up here. And that's all good to go. And voila, she's back together. These direct blowback AKs are probably some of the simplest built AKs there are. I don't understand why these things aren't more popular because, well, I mean, it's just, they're simple. Direct blowback guns are easy to do. Once you get the weight and springs correct, you can really just turn these things out. There's not a whole lot to them. I mean, it uses a factory AK fire control group. Everything on this thing is factory AK, with the exception of the bolt and the fact that it's got this special adapter for this magazine, which this adapter is super well made. I mean, it's aluminum. It's aluminum. The paddle's aluminum. It's a huge paddle that you can use from either side. And it does have a last bolt hole open on the magazine. And you do have your basic little right there. So, if you have an empty mag, it will hold back on the last magazine. And then you can, I'm not sure, do it with the magazine in it. But if you put a new magazine in, you can just kind of drop that down. Which, if you're looking at it, you couldn't do that all in one motion. You can drop in, and as you pull your hand away, pull that down to drop your mag. So, but yeah, so I really do like the AKV, especially this particular variation right here. It does have this real nice metal butt plate here, which honestly, it's 9mm. You don't need it. This thing doesn't kick that much at all. Now, being 9mm, these direct blowback guns can be deceptive sometimes when it comes to recoil, simply because you don't have any kind of gas delay. The only delay is the weight of that bolt and that spring, like I said. So sometimes they can be a little hard kicking for a 9mm carbine versus something that might have some kind of lockup. Like say, let's talk about, like, say, an MP5 that's got a delayed roller blowback, system. That's going to have less recoil than one of these. This is a lot simpler and reliable, like real reliable, but you will get slightly more recoil than something that has roller delay or any other type of delay or lockup system in a PCC. Like I said, one of the things that I really wish that this thing would be, you know, just a SBR. I mean, I might SBR this thing if I decide to keep it. Now, it does come with this muzzle brake on the rifle, which is, it works really well. I mean, this thing works good. I mean, it stays down. Is it a little much for a 9mm PCC? Maybe, but it's a really well designed muzzle brake. You got ports straight up top. You got your one ports off the side for recoil. And it's just really well made. It's got some stars on it. And then you can see the amount of carbon that builds up there on this muzzle brake. And a lot of direct blowbacks are like that. For instance, my Curse PPSH, or PP43, PPS 43. It's a direct blowback as well. And you can see it does got quite a bit of carbon built up on the inside of the brake here. So I think that's mainly a direct blowback thing. I'm not sure what the exact physics are behind why a direct blowback will build up more carbon on the muzzle device as opposed to, say, you know, something that's not direct blowback. For instance, you know, everything else I have that is some type of locking system really doesn't have that much carbon buildup on the muzzle device. And of course, a lot of the stuff I have isn't necessarily muzzle brake style of muzzle device, but you know, I suppose the beast here does yeah, but even then, still not that much carbon buildup. Don't know. You know? Yeah. So if anyone in the comment section happens to know the reason why a direct blowback will build up more carbon deposits inside the muzzle device than, say, something with a locking system, I'd be interested to know, because both of my currently firing PCCs that are direct blowback have carbon buildup in the muzzle device. It's interesting. When I get my PPSH 41 going, I'm curious to see if I get the exact same results with carbon buildup here at the end of the muzzle. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, I really, really like this rifle. I mean, if y'all haven't shot one of the AKVs, now let's be honest, the AKV from PSA, this is one of the cheaper, to my knowledge, probably the cheapest one of the PCC AKs that are on the market. Because I think it's, what, the Clash USA has their AK9 or whatever it's called, and there's a couple other brands that have PCC AKs, but as far as I know, the AKV is the cheapest, and, you know, it's a well-built rifle. This thing is really nice. I do dig this rifle. I wish I had more opportunities to shoot it. I wish I would, someone would send me a, you know, bulk of 9mm so I can do some more, you know, PCC shooting. So if anyone out there, you know, wants to help out the channel, let me know. But, you know, I really do dig this. Y'all need to check out the PSA AKV. They have a bunch of different models. They have, you know, the black polymers, the cheapest one. They have pistol versions of this with and without the stabilizing brace. We got that nationwide injunction. I have heard PSA is selling selling pistols with braces again. So y'all can check that out. They have, I believe they have a triangle folder version of this, which, man, this here with a triangle folder SBR, that would be a sweet backpack setup. Because this thing here with the triangle folder would be that long. That can fit in a backpack, no problem. And that's one of the reasons why I'm building my, I've been taking so long on my ADM 65 kit. Because first of all, I wanted a triangle folder on it so I can shorten it up a lot. So you can see that's like that. And you can see, yeah, the receiver is a little shorter than a regular AK receiver. That, and then I'm wanting to shorten the barrel a bit as well. Because see, even I'm wanting to take a sight gas block combo, bring it up to about right here, and then, you know, I'll have the barrel like 2 inches shorter. So overall length, this thing's only going to be barely longer than the AKV, but in 7.62x39. So that's one of the reasons why I've been putting this off. Plus, you know, it's hunting season and all that, so you know, and then Bidenomics has made my business a little on the slow side this season. So, you know, haven't had as much money for stuff like that. Same thing with the DP27. Now I'm on hold with that because I haven't found anyone that can work on it. Anyways, that is the AKV, guys. Check it out. Big shout out to PSA for making this video happen, sending this out to me. I do want to think about throwing a night vision on this and maybe shooting a hog or, yeah, shooting a hog or shooting a coyote with it. Yeah, let's see. Comment down below. Would you rather see me take this out coyote hunting or hog hunting with night vision on it? Let me know. But anyways, guys, that's it for today from the PSA AKV, the 9mm AK. Very sweet rifle. Check them out. And I'm not saying that because, you know, they sent me the rifle. I really do honestly like this thing. It is fun to shoot. But yeah, y'all guys, y'all have a good one. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Check out the merch store, check out PSA, and check out their lineup of rifles. They have a lot of cool stuff. And then maybe our partnership's going to keep going, and I'll be able to get something else sent to me that's going to be interesting from one of their new lines. We'll see. Anyways, guys, y'all have a good one, and y'all keep shooting.